Hello, bros. It's time for that hero stuff, bro. That hero stuff live.
Hi.
How are you doing on the day of today? Welcome to Restoring Heroes, where we are going to help you be the man that your family looks up to.
He will.
I will.
I'm just a support
She's
person.
just here to interview me. Yeah, you don't have to. Just put it down. You don't have to do all that extra. There you go.
I'm learning.
I have with me the author. I can't say that word
You
right.
just said it perfectly.
Whatever. Author
Okay.
of Trust God, Repeat. Trust God, Cry, Repeat. Why do we mess up our own slogans?
You stress me out.
Trust God, Cry, Repeat. Yes. The author of that, a wonderful book for women, biblical womanhood, how God can help you through tough times,
Amen.
The toughest times in your life. You need to go check that out. Check on lulu.com. I think it's also on Amazon.
Link in my bio.
Link in her bio. This is Nyoka_Hall, which is my wife, _ blessing.
Got 2 rings.
Yeah.
Sorry, I stay focused.
Anyway, we are here. I'm here to talk to you about something that, that was a struggle for me. And I brought her here because she's able to pull out a lot more because she's the one that started asking me these questions and getting me to examine myself and things like that. I wonder if you can hear me, but you probably can. It's probably all good.
Give a thumbs up if you can hear
But how would
him.
But
I'll look. Stay focused.
okay. Anyway, so I wanted to get started on this broadcast now, and talking about being a great man. And it's a real hard thing. It's not, when I'm saying being a great man, I'm not talking about being a great man as like I'm bragging. It's a real hard thing for me. It is a real hard thing for me to say that I am a great man. Baby, you mind telling a little bit about the story of like how that even came about?
Absolutely. So we're just sitting, chilling after the kids go to bed. And I don't know what I was doing. I was working on something on my phone. I was writing down something. I'm always writing something. And I just looked at him and I was like, you know you're a great man, right? And he scoffed like, I was like, what's So I asked him, like, why are you making that weird sound? You know you're a great man, right? And he did it again. So I was like, either you have asthma or we need to talk about something. No joke. Some people do have asthma. Disclaimer, I wasn't making fun. But I was just making sure that he was okay because to me, I'm like, it's a simple concept. You, James Hall, that hero stuff, bro, is a great man, right? So I just thought he would be like, I am a great man, and kind of stick out his chest. He didn't. He kind of looked distraught. I was like, what was going on? So I'm like, babe, you know you're a great man, right? It just kind of filled out, have like the air filler. He didn't say anything. So I was like, babe, because when people don't answer you, of course, it's because they couldn't hear you, right? So I'm like, babe, you know you're a great man, right? So by that time, I knew something was wrong. I think now he thinks something's wrong too, but with me. Go ahead.
So and I think this went on to the next day.
It did.
Because I think, I don't know, we're doing nap time. One of the meals, it wasn't nap time because the kids were awake.
Right.
During one of the meals, she asked me again and asked me to say it, and I could not, for the life of me, get the words out my mouth. Like it was literally like I was fighting past something to say I am a great man. Mm-hmm. Like I had to fight past something, and I scoffed because like being a great man, it's such a high thing, man. Saying you great, or me, it reminds me of like, man, you're perfect. Like you don't have any struggles. You don't think bad things. You don't still struggle with your old temptations. You don't still fall into those old things. And that's how I was thinking. Thinking. So anytime she asked me to say I was a great man, I could not say it. And to the point where like now we're at the lunch table. I think it was right after lunch or one of our late breakfasts that we have on a Saturday or so. And she asked me, she was like, you know you're a great man, right? She's like, say it. And I was like, no.
I'm persistent.
I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not saying that. And she
I
was
thought
like,
you were playing. I literally thought you were like messing with me this whole time. So I was like, say it.
right. But I wasn't joking. I was
He
for real.
wasn't.
And I was like, no, I'm not saying that because I don't believe it. Like I really don't believe it. And then she say it loud, like say it, right? So I was like,
I'm a little crazy too.
so I was like, I'm a great man, like that, like mumbled it on it. I'm a great.
What is that?
Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
I'm
like,
sorry, I swear.
Like what was that saying out loud? And it took me a while to get to a point where I was able to scream, I'm a great man. Like even now thinking about it, I'm still not able to do it like that.
Don't start. We on camera. I'll make you say it.
We are trying to do something serious here.
This is serious. I'll seriously make you say it. Okay, I'll stop.
Anyway, so one thing that was anytime saying that word, I'm a great man, just saying those words, it felt to me like I was putting a whole lot of. It was easier not to claim that. It was easy. It's easier to feel like I'm less of a man. It's easier to feel like that because at least that kind of feels normal to me. Because I growing up, struggles and things like that. I did not have a good example. I had imperfect examples and imperfect fatherings about what it is to be a great man, a good man, a man that not only works and protects his wife, but loves his children, things like that. My uncle did a great job. That I call my dad did a great job. But I also have those emotions that, as a man waiting for your biological father to come and pick you up, but he never shows up. So you cancel all your plans to go out and play and things like that. Those things are still in the back of my mind. And I have a tendency to compare myself to those men, that man, my biological father. And I could not say for the life of me that I'm a great man because I feel that every mistake I make, I'm repeating my biological father's mistakes. So if I, talk brashly or snap at my son, I'm repeating my father's mistakes, and he's going to now walk away, and now, you know what I mean? Like I'm destroying things. I put so much pressure. I don't even know if this is godly pressure, really.
It's not.
It is. Well, she says not godly pressure, so
I'm saying it's not.
No, but I don't even know if it's godly pressure that I'm putting on myself. I think it's just the pressure that Satan puts on me to mean that being a great man means I have to be a perfect man. And I couldn't say it. And I finally mustered up because then I started thinking to myself, like, wait, man, I ain't no punk. So
That's
like
right.
She was challenging me.
That's
so I was like,
baby.
I ain't no punk. So I'm gonna go ahead and yell it.
That's right.
And I said, I'm a great man. Like that, right?
Sorry.
Right. And
Go work
she
that.
got right. And then I said it, and there was something freeing about it, but it's still one of those questions that I think to myself, and I have for myself, like, am I actually a great man? And I think because it's hard for me to think of those things that are lovely. I know I'm not the only man that struggles with that. To do the Philippians 4, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known before men, and do not be anxious about anything, but everything by prayer and supplications, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. Like all those things. Then it says at the end, think on those things that are lovely, those things that are of good report. I have a tendency to be down on myself because I'm not the man I want to be, but it's hard for me to see that the fact that I'm 2 times, 3 times, 5 times the man I used to be.
Man,
it's hard for me to see that at times, and that's why heroes, you need a helpmeet. You need your wife to support you in those things. I'm gonna flip the interview on you.
No, it's about you.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip the interview. But how do
Okay.
you feel when you hear me say that? Like I'm not a great man. Like what does that do to you as a wife?
Well, once I actually realized that you were being dead serious, it broke my heart. Because it's like, I see the impact that you've made in my life. And I'll always say this. And you're like, oh, thanks, babe. But I know God loves me because he gave me you.
That's deep.
That's for real. Like, you know, and I see what you do every day. Not only for me, but for our kids. Like, protecting us and doing, I mean, I have a whole list I can write of just what you bring to the house. And it broke my heart because it's like, how can he not see what I see? How can he not see the impact? How can he not see, like, it just broke my heart because it made me feel like the enemy had some type of, you know, I'm super nerdy, so I try to stay focused, but like some type of cloak over your eyes, like, how can he, wait a minute, you're doing it, how do you not see what you're doing? And if it was something bad, it would be like, okay, well, you can name all the stuff that you don't do right, but the things that you do right, it's like you sweep those under the rug. So for that to be on top of it, I was like, oh my goodness, like I was devastated. I'm like, what else? I went to God. I'm like, God, what do I do? Am I doing something wrong? Like, you know, I didn't know what had transpired because all this time I feel like you nailing it, and then I figured you do too. So, but I was wrong.
Right, so. Right. And it comes to like every mistake, and this is how Satan beats me down. I know he beats other heroes down out there, like the mistakes I make, the things I feel that are big deals to me. And I always talk about like being loud at the kids, but I'm a loud guy, so it's not like I'm being aggressive, I'm disciplining or whatever. But it seems like that makes me unworthy even to do restoring heroes, like even to do. You know, that heroes, I should cancel every time I mess up, every time I argue with you, every time we have a disagreement, every time that things don't line up right, every time that I forget or I get in my head and I get real cerebral, and every time I lose focus on what's important, I get on my phone a little bit too long, I'm searching, I'm studying too much. Every time that happens, Satan gets on me and it makes me feel that I'm unworthy, which some parts of it is true. I'm unworthy. God makes me worthy, but unworthy even to speak to you, man, as a man with a vision to help men become the men their family look up to. And it's one of those things that like it really beats me down, and I think he beats me down because I'm on to something. You know what I mean? Like
I would agree.
I think this being a great man, being a hero, if Satan can keep men from realizing they already are heroes because they're with Jesus Christ, and God has transformed. They already are in the phone booth, if you will. They're already transforming into the hero. They're already there. Just got to step at the phone booth and go take on the world. If Satan can keep you in the phone booth, fiddling with your costume.
Wow.
I really believe that was deep.
I know.
I really think he fears us understanding that God has created us and God has empowered us to protect, to provide, and to protect, provide, and be the priest of our homes. Amen. Like God has empowered us to do so, and if once we realize it, it's kind of like we remember watching what is it, A Bug's Life? Yeah. When I know what you're gonna say. Right. When the crickets were like the crickets was beating down the ants, and he went the head cricket went into his clubhouse. And he was talking to the goof. It's always a goofy one. He was talking to the cheesy goofball. The goofball of his is always his right hand man, but he's the goofball. Yeah. And he was talking to him, and he was like, "Well, it was just one ant, because one of the ants stood up and talked and spoke out. Who he said it was just one ant, and the ant, the cricket was like." It's just one. So he threw one nut. It was a big old bottle of feed or nuts or whatever. So he threw one nut at the goofball. Like here, that's just one. And he was like, yeah, does that hurt? He was like, nah, that didn't hurt. I mean, whatever. Then he kicked the thing open, and all the food and all that stuff landed on him. And he was like, it only takes one.
That's right.
If one stands up,
that's right.
Then they know that there's more of them than there are of us. Yeah. If one stands up, let's say, put it in a Satan way. If one man stands up and protects and provides and be the priest of their home, they will realize that greater is he that is in them than is he that is in the world.
Amen.